It has been 7 years since Fortnite added all of these teasers, but in 2018, we had no idea what they meant. It is now 2025 and so many are in game, while others haven't happened yet. So today we're exploring every Easter egg that predicted the future. So as you know, we just defeated a Kraken in the Super Showdown event, but Fortnite's been teasing this creature for years. If we go all the way back in the first update of Chapter 2, we got the Squid Up spray in the Battle Pass. It was a joke to make fun of all the Kraken event clickbait that have been showing up, but after all of that careful planning, Epic finally did it, and it's one of the most obvious ones. Like in 2024, the second Marvel season had one of the most brutal Easter eggs of all time. You could find Dr. Doom's collection of defeated heroes, including the Fantastic Four. It was all types of messed up. Reed Richards got stretched into a ball, the Thing was literally chiseled into a throne, Johnny's heart became a fireplace, and Sue, well, she was just straight up dead in a glass case. Pretty traumatizing, but it confirmed that Epic were planning something more for these guys, and we wouldn't get their actual debut until 2025 when the MCU version's released in the item shop. And we seriously weren't expecting to find out that one of the Father's Day collabs was teased 3 years ago. Back in 2022, on the week of Father's Day that year, a bathtub appeared at Greasy Grove. It was dangling over the edge of a house, and immediately fans noticed this is an Easter egg to Cleveland Brown.
What the hell? No, 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 no!
Well, almost exactly 3 years to the day, Cleveland would arrive in the item shop and surprise everyone. And Fortnite keep doing stuff like this because Deadmau5 is now in the game, but we've already known about it for months. It's all thanks to the Supernova Academy, where you could go inside one of the rooms and hear this music. Not to mention, there's literally posters teasing him everywhere, and even showed up in loading screens. It's easily the most obvious tease we've had in a while, but it's not the longest. That award goes to the first ever Easter egg in Battle Royale. That is Truckosaurus. From day one, Fortnite's been referencing The Simpsons, and they've done it over 7 times. It's all leading up to the Simpsons season that's happening this November. It started with Truckosaurus, as I mentioned, and then you could find pink car props around the island that were a tribute to Homer's pink car. It even had the antenna in the exact same spot. We go on to get emotes from the show too, like the egg drop.
Yay!
Or the end is near.
Spend your children's college fund. Throw that turkey now.
And of course, the most famous Easter egg of all, the pink donuts as steamy stacks, obviously belonging to Homer. In fact, Simpsons returned the favor in 2020 when they had Fortnite in the show, with Bart playing a parody named Half Month. Yeah, it was all connected. And in Chapter 6, they have referenced The Simpsons again. Over at Utopia City, you can find a poster advertising pink donuts with bugs on it. Not only is this a tease for The Simpsons, the bugs are also a nod to what comes directly before it, Season 4. Did you know that Fortnite also revealed a theme of shock and awesome weeks ago when this spray appeared on the walls of Supernova Academy? It's showing the exact insects they'll be fighting next season. But we're also going to be seeing a brand new anime collab during it, and it's one that Fortnite accidentally teased back in the Star Wars season. While everyone was loving talking to AI Darth Vader and trying to make him say silly things like skibbity toilet, other people were digging into his code and realizing that he could talk to the exact skin you're wearing. He would talk to Nikkei 30 or Hatsune Miku, but the craziest part is that he was programmed to react to someone who wasn't in the game yet. That is Saitama from One Punch Man. Speaking of upcoming collabs, the next Battle Pass is going to include the Power Rangers, and yet this has been foreshadowed for the longest time. Let's take it all the way back to Chapter 1 with the final showdown. When the Mecha Team Leader was built, everyone knew this was referencing the Power Rangers, and now years later it's turning from a tribute to a real thing. Coincidentally, just like the mech, the Rangers will also be stuck fighting huge alien creatures. And if you're wondering, Fortnite also confirmed the collab on their Twitter before anyone knew about it, replying to this tweet with a shush emoji. While we're talking about the final showdown, one of the coolest teases in Fortnite history was at Neo Tilted. The huge Singularity statue in the middle would turn out to be pivotal to the event, and it was hiding under our noses pretty much the whole time. Not only was it pulled out to be a sword, Fortnite were telling us this with the shape of the lake. And it's crazy to see how Fortnite made it so obvious they were teasing a Star Wars season. Like, we were all surprised when the samurai Darth Vader appeared out of nowhere alongside a new stormtrooper. I mean, we kind of shrugged it off, but this whole time it was trying to tell us something. When you talk to the Night Rose, she would say the words far, far away, and then in the quest, some people stopped and asked, hey, why is a Star Wars lightsaber chest here? Of course, this would all make sense a couple months later when it got its own season, with Palpatine as the main villain, who was also teased years before in the very first Star Wars event.
At last the work of generations is complete. The great error is corrected. The day of victory is at hand. The day of revenge. the day of the Sith.
One of my favorite teasers from this year was the build up to everyone's favorite rapper. Who would have guessed it was this bucket at the Kappa factory? We got to watch this thing grow larger than any other pickle, and when you went to the CEO's desk, you could see exactly what this experiment was: a human-sized pickle, later known as Big Dill. Speaking of random characters, people tend to forget just how important Cato Thorne was. Not only was he responsible for giving us the time machine that took us all back to Chapter 1, he was actually teasing it for months. In Cato's loading screen, you can see the time machine with a very specific date, July 12, 2018. It was the release date of Season 5 and our first confirmation that we were going back to OG. As the teasers continue to ramp up, this date would soon appear on the machine in-game before it was stolen, taken to Frenzy Fields, and actually ready to take us there. Did you know back in Chapter 5, there was a TV in the underworld that only played static? You know, Fortnite's always had these broken TVs. We kind of thought nothing of it until 1 month later. Here, an antique television appeared in Castle Doom's attic with a similar blue screen, and it wasn't long before its true intention was revealed.
I want to play a game.
Now, this TV will go on to become even more important when the official collab released, bringing Billy the Puppet to Fortnite.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
A secret that is way more subtle is in the Chapter 2 reveal trailer. We all thought Fortnite teased the island flip in Season 5's trailer, but they actually did it way earlier. As the black hole transitions to the puddle, you can see the camera rotate 180 degrees through space, revealing that we flipped upside down the whole time. They really think ahead. And it reminds me how the Frolic dance showed up all those years ago, and fans immediately noticed its resemblance to the leak dance by Hatsune Miku. Turns out this would come full circle just a couple years later, when leaks appeared all around the map, finally teasing the arrival of Miku. It's just as obvious as this single refrigerator out in the desert in Chapter 3. At the time, we thought it was just like a regular prop, but it's actually a reference to the iconic scene where Indiana Jones survives a nuclear explosion by hiding in a fridge. Of course, a couple seasons later, he would show up in the Battle Pass. Now, earlier this year, everyone's attention turned to this room on the island, which was secretly teasing a future festival artist. Lipstick graffiti, a guitar, a microphone, and when you looked at the stand, it had a heart on it. I mean, Sabrina Carpenter fans, they knew exactly what was happening. It didn't really help that she used this exact mic on tour, and now it was sitting here revealing the future. At the start of Chapter 6, we had a huge block of ice placed on the map, and it quickly reminded players of a long-running joke about Mariah Carey. For years at this point, people have joked that on November 1st, Mariah begins to defrost, ready to sing All I Want for Christmas Is You. Like, the jokes start as early as Halloween. Well, eventually Mariah herself picked up on this and put it in a video a couple years ago. No shot Fortnite would recreate this, right? That's not the only iconic artist they revealed in a very clever way, because when we launched into the Rec season, Megalodon kicked it off from the start with this epic cue.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Yeah, that was our first hint, because when we opened the pass, we found Rush trying to hide this t-shirt, which is an official piece of Metallica merch. Obviously, Fortnite wouldn't get all this licensing for no reason, and sure enough, a month later, the whole band dropped in Fortnite Festival. It reminds me of how they gave us an innocent spy tech item in Chapter 2, only to tease a massive collab. Creeping Cardboard was only in the game for the Top Secret season, but everyone knew it was obviously a reference to Metal Gear Solid. Clearly, Epic were fans of the series and doing everything in their power to get Solid Snake officially in the game, but it wasn't until 2024 that they finally pulled it off. But they didn't just drop skins, we also got Snake's unique cardboard box straight from the game. Just like it took them half a decade to make this scene in a trailer come to life. Because in Splashdown Cinematic, we race through our new flooded map as we watch Ocean knock Brutus's helmet clean off to take it for herself. At the time, almost everyone recognized it was a Mortal Kombat fatality, but we all knew it was way too gruesome to ever come to the game for real, right? Well, 5 whole years passed before Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and more took over Fortnite, not just as skins, but even giving us POIs and mythics. Now, if you remember the first Marvel season, we had a bunch of brand new powers, but it was still very early days for Fortnite. We only had a fraction of the superhero collabs we have now, specifically no Spider-Man. Well, if you tried to recreate it with a budget harpoon gun at the time, you would get an achievement. Not only did they recognize what you were trying to do, but we actually got the official Spider-Man logo in the game for the first time, and little did we know this is all building up to when the collab would finally happen with the start of the next chapter. The same battle pass contained another hidden collab, and that's The Rock. He arrived as the one and only foundation revealed in the live event, shocking everyone, but it wasn't the first time this idea was thrown around. Fortnite just loves teasing these collabs way in advance, just like when Jack Sparrow was revealed over 2 years before his debut. In Chapter 3, there was a small boat at Logjam that was easily missed, but after taking a closer look, eagle-eyed fans spotted that it was secretly recreating a scene from Pirates of the Caribbean. The small boat, the pirate flag, even the bucket of water. But even then, we just assumed it was like an Easter egg, nothing more. Then came Chapter 5 with NPCs warning us about black flags and ships on the horizon, all foreshadowing Jack Sparrow and his crew coming to the game. One of the coolest ways Fortnite has teased an upcoming collab is when they dropped a single emote, Jug Band. Now, it was just a regular emote in the item shop, no icon series or nothing, so nobody thought much of it. But there was a lot more detail when you got 4 friends to join in, because suddenly the music was more familiar. Yeah, it's Lady Gaga's Poker Face in 2022. That is 2 whole years before she officially took the stage to headline Fortnite Festival, all revealed thanks to this tiny teaser. In fact, close by on another tropical island, Fortnite were simultaneously teasing another collab. There was a very familiar looking building that left fans of certain anime thinking, is this the Kame house? And sure enough, a few months later, a capsule quart bottle appeared, and Fortnite officially announced Dragon Ball, changing the house to an even more accurate design. Sometimes Epic leave teasers so tiny that nobody ever figures them out, and that's exactly what happened with Rubius. You see, in the middle of Season 2, a bunch of lemons started appearing all over the place, and no one knew why. The weirdest part is, if you went up to these in-game, they were interactable, letting you inspect them for XP, and a mysterious message reading, "What are these lemons doing here?" It wasn't until 2 whole seasons later Rubius arrived, and we all realized why they were there. It's a famous meme he has with his community, so when he got his icon series, it even included a 4K lemon. What about when Marvel made a surprise return and shocked everyone? Well, the second season actually didn't come out of nowhere. There were subtle teasers that everyone missed. Magneto's in the past, which is our first hint, but the second was a random bunker appearing in the ice. Look closely, and it actually has claw marks in the concrete, teasing Wolverine pretty much all along. Then Magneto finally set him free, and we could head inside and find a banana in the second test tube, foreshadowing Wolverine next season in Absolute Doom. By the way, Doom was literally walking the map weeks before his arrival. Who remembers the mysterious cloak figure that started appearing in the corner of her eye? If you got too close, it would vanish. Theories poured in whether this could be the Shapeless Man or some new story character, only for it to be Victor Von Doom plotting in the shadows to ruin Megalodon's pipeline and take Pandora's box for himself. Thank you all for watching. Use code T5G in the item shop if you want to support us. It helps so much more than you know. It has been Tommy, and as always, keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.